This is Eric Campbell. You can find me at ericcampbell.com.
This is Brian Walker with Image Armor Pretreatment and Inks.
Johnny Shell with SGIA.
Scott Fresner with T-Biz Network International.
And you're listening to Two Regular Guys
Podcast,
hosted by Terry Combs
and Aaron Montgomery.
If you're not listening, you're missing out.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, everyone. It's Friday, January 19th, 2018. I'm Terry Combs with Equipment Zone. You can also find me over at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me at aaronmontgomery.info as well as sublysource.com. Today we're going to be telling some secrets, Terry, so quiet. Let's just keep this between us. But we'll be talking about some of the things going on out there at Long Beach ISS show, as well as some other breaking news and trends we've been able to kind of scrape up here. So going to be a great show today. But before we do that, Terry, I wanted to let everybody know today is the day. And honestly, we've been a little disappointed. We haven't had the entries we were looking for yet. So we'll see how it goes here. But we need a new 5 things in infographic format. And we know there's a lot of good graphics folks out there. And you can just whip something up for us real quick and get promoted on this show here. But so we're looking for...
Maybe our offer of a coffee mug wasn't quite enough, but
and it's a new.
You work for less.
it's a new coffee mug, brand new. We just had a bunch of them made. It's lovely. It holds coffee. I'll even buy you a cup of coffee when I run into you. How about that? Up the ante a little bit here, Terry. So just email us over at info@tworegularguys.com at your submissions, and we'll hopefully have some submissions by next week and pick a winner. And we were going to cut it off today, but I think we need to open it up for just a couple days longer here and see how we do. But speaking of 5 things, Terry, I do want to stay tuned. We'll be closing the show with 5 things today, and we've got a guest helping us out. Janine Edwards of Fruit of Loom shared with us 5 trends in apparel printing that will transform your business. It's from an article she did for SGA Journal, and some good points there, some good talking points. I'm looking forward to hearing those later on.
That's definitely worth hanging around to hear. I'm anxious to hear those myself. And Aaron, I'm coming to you from my hotel room at the Hilton in near the Long Beach, California Convention Center. So hopefully we'll be able to maintain a connection here on my on the hotel Wi-Fi. So you may have to jump in and take over for me. But hey, we appreciate everybody listening, and we are pleased to be bringing you this podcast since February 2013. Crazy. We do it all without any rants or lecturing, and we would love for you to visit our webpage at 2regularguys.com. Check out the show notes from previous podcasts, notes from this podcast. Lots of great links and additional information there. We are always looking for suggestions for future shows, and you can go through, reach us through our Contact Us page, through social media at 2 Regular Guys. That's where you find us throughout social media. And if you're catching this live video via Facebook Live, we would love to hear your comments and insights. And hey, if you have a new product or service, pop it up there and let us announce it for you today. And Aaron, before we dive in here for the Secrets show, let's hear a word from our sponsor for the whole year 2018, the Specialty Graphic Imaging Association, SGIA.
Connected, empowered, inspired.
That's you after ThreadX, powered by SGIA in Palm Springs, California, February 25th through the 28th, 2018. This new event, designed by and for garment decorators, explores not just how to sell products, but how to get noticed.
The focus is on marketing, branding, and consumer trends in this omni-channel retail age.
Join the 2 Regular Guys to satisfy your appetite for actionable inspiration with speakers including Johnny Cupcakes, Tim Williams of the YR Store, and many more. This is a must-attend event if you plan on seeing your company into the future. Plan on attending ThreadX, powered by SGIA in Palm Springs, California, February 25th through the 28th, 2018. Go to threadx18.com for more details and to register.
We can't wait to see you there.
All right, Terry. Well, I am getting pretty darn excited about ThreadX and our road trip we're going to have with Marshall Atkinson and anybody else that wants to join us. I tried to talk Jay Bassell into getting in the car with us, but he says he's got other obligations. So
well, that does sound good. I know that I did an all-day Epson seminar, and Matt Rome, who's on the committee, was there and passing out brochures to everybody attending the event about ThreadX and giving the big pep talk. So looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time, and I'm just getting stoked about learning and I don't know if I'll bring a yellow legal pad, but I'll certainly have my laptop charged and ready to be taking notes.
I should find an app that's a yellow legal pad, but I could put it, on my tablet, and
I will
feel better.
I will find that now. I have to find it. In fact, if it's a paid app, I will pay for it for you. Good stuff. Well, welcome in, Val. She said almost 5 years old. We got to have a party next month, and agreed. We're coming upon starting our 6th year. So, oh boy, does that make us? I don't know. Well, anyhow,
back in the day too, Aaron. I remember you and I sitting talking about doing this, saying, "Well, gosh, yeah, we can do a couple of shows, but then what are we going to talk about?" 250 shows later, and
yeah, it's
we're scheduling out the rest of 2018. So, luckily, though, hey, we've had a lot of great guests who have plenty to say and plenty to share with the industry. So that's. We always appreciate that. And I'm trying to run down a guest for next week that's going to be very informative educator. And so just trying to nail that down. And one nice thing about being here at Long Beach is that just about everybody in the industry is here. And so I'll be able to book, I'm hopefully several shows for us over the coming months.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. This is the first time I've missed ISS Long Beach since I got into the industry. So I've been every year since 2000, and so I'm missing seeing everybody, but it is nice to be home with my family. So I'll take that.
Aaron, I have to tell you this. I 2 nights ago had dinner with our good friend Hawkeye, who's a technician over at Brother, and we were walking into the rock bottom. And the hostess said, would you like to sit inside? I said, yeah, let's do that. And Hawkeye goes, hold it. It was 2 degrees when I left home this morning. We're sitting outside.
Yeah. I was just out in Las Vegas and did the same thing. So, yeah. All right, Terry. Well, let's go ahead and dive in. We need to tell some secrets here before too many people get on and we start giving away stuff and getting ourselves in trouble and getting shut down. I
think we have some interesting things to talk about. Not everybody came through for us. I think they were some people were a little afraid, I think, to announce too soon. But hopefully those folks we'll be able to talk to. I'll be able to talk to here at the show and maybe share a few more secrets next week. Do you want to start us off today?
Yeah, I'll give a start. We reached out to Dane Clemente from Great Dane Graphics, and it sounds like he's always a busy guy and he's always got lots of cool stuff going on. But so 2018 is not going to be any different for him. It sounds like. So here's what he said. We will be releasing updated versions of my T-shirt artwork simplified books early first quarter this year. So that's the biggest news. We have other news, but I don't have confirmation yet as to when we can announce it. So it won't be for Long Beach, but it's pretty cool. I'll be sure to let you know as soon as it's done. So we're going to have to reach out to Lon Winters and see if we can get the scoop. Then.
Yes, thinking that was the first real secret that was ever told on our show. I think when Dane was on the show, we were doing the show live, and Dane said, "Hey, I've got something cooking with Lon Winters and from Graphic Elephants, and I can't talk about it now." And and then Lon came on and said, "Oh no, I'll tell you about it." And
that was great.
Secret project they were working on.
Yeah, exactly. We'll figure out a way. Normally, we can maybe lubricate them too with some. That's what you need to do. Go find Dane at the show there, Terry, and make sure that you get him an adult beverage and see what you can get out of him. But no, but that T-shirt artwork simplified book, those are great tools, and if they're updating those, he always stays on top of that stuff.
Dane is a fabulous educator. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. If you have a chance to take one of his classes, do it. There was ISS Fort Worth last year. I was standing there talking with some friends from Texas, and we were talking about some of the challenges they had, and they said, the graphics is really the hardest part for me, and what should I do? How can I learn? And I look over and see Dane in his very loud sublimated shirt that he always wears, and I said, that's the guy. And Dane said, hey, we're doing a deal across the hall here in like 20 minutes. So join me. They went and joined. I talked to him the next day. They said it was the best thing they could have done. It got him a long ways down the road to getting better with their graphics. So, Terry, before we keep going, I did pop up on the screen here. There's some very important people watching. Henry and Lincoln say, hi, Papa. Tiny screen printers in the making. So I just wanted to make sure we got that out there. For those of you that don't know who Henry and Lincoln are, those would be Terry's grandsons. So.
Yes, 3 years old and a year and a half, and spent the last 2 months with Grandpa, which was awesome. Before Thanksgiving, all the way through New Year's, my daughter and my two grandsons came down to Arizona because my daughter's husband is an officer in the Navy and at sea, so. We got to spend some quality time together, and some people may have heard when I was doing this show from my bedroom with the door locked, little Lincoln at 1.5 knocking, going, "Knocka, knocka, Grandpa." Knocka. But, I did want to add one thing that kind of a funny thing that Lon Winter from a Graphic Elephant, a regular listener to the show may have heard Lon on the show, but when he was talking about when he started his company, and he was not originally Graphic Elephants, he was Graphic Elements, but their receptionist could not say elements. So every time she answered the phone, she would say Graphic Elephants. It got to the point where Lon said, you know what? Let's just change the name to Graphic Elephants. I kind of like it.
I forgot all about that story. That's a good one. Very true. Yeah.
Well, I have a pretty good one, Aaron, and some people may have heard because, excuse me, the announcement went out yesterday from Epson. Epson has an additional direct-to-garment printer now, the Epson F2100, and a lot of buzz at the show about that because they held the announcement until the beginning of my all-day Epson seminar that we did yesterday. So seminar. We had the regular F2000 there, and then once the announcement was made, took the covers off, and there were the brand new printers. And the Epson is going to continue, at least for a while, with the F2000, selling it for $12,995. That's ready to ship immediately. But the F2100 is going to be available sometime in March, and the pre-sale price on that's $15,995. Some of the things that the folks from Epson shared, and I was in a dealer meeting late yesterday and kind of going through some of these points that so let me share these things with you guys. Yeah. All the ink cartridges, the platens, the supplies for the F2000, all interchangeable with the F2100. Print speed from anywhere from 35 to double the speed of the previous printer. Here's something really interesting, and this hit home with me more as a screen printer than with a lot of other folks, but there's a print mode option where the printer prints a white underbase, then it comes back and prints color and white, a highlight white at the same time. And that's a screen printer's trick to get a really thin print but a really bright white image. So I was glad to see they added that option. The printer also prints with variable dot size, and it's to the best of my knowledge, the only direct-to-garment printer that does variable dots, which means much more.
Terry, you're all right. You're kind of locked up there, so let's see if you come back there. I'm not sure if where it's at, but let's keep going. So I've got some of the notes here. See if I can keep going with it until Terry comes back on here. And so variable dot size. The next point was the daily tube wash liquid you put into the printer at night has been eliminated and replaced by this liquid in its own cartridge. So the process is automated. And let's see what the next point is. Terry will hopefully sign back in here in just a moment. We'll bring him back. A new cover for the Platinum eliminates the need to use hoops, and this is an available an available update for any current Epson Platins. Both the 2000 and 2100 are both available, so coming soon. We'll see if we get any more out of Terry when he gets back on here. Apparently, the hotel internet decided to shut him down. But all right, well, I'm going to bring my next piece to you. And yes, Val, definitely gotta love hotel connections. This is the challenge of trying to do this on the road as video, but we'll make it work. All right, so 5 T-shirt design trends that will rule supreme in 2018. I found this blog post on a site called Design Hill, and I kind of felt like it had some interesting ideas, some interesting things to talk about and be inspired by. I will put a link to this full blog post so you can kind of see the different things and whatnot. And kind of get some idea and read about the detail that they had put into this, but like I said, I thought it was good, and I thought it was worth sharing as something for us to think about going into 2018 and beyond here. Number 1, nature-inspired T-shirts, very kind of earthy looking, soft, pastel-y colors. So you're going to probably see a lot more of that coming soon. They also claim that cartoon tees are back, that you'll start to see a lot more of those big cartoon prints and things like that on T-shirts for the coming years. They also said, number 3, Gothic is the new black. And so expect to see a lot more Gothic type designs on light shirts as opposed to dark shirts. And that should be interesting to see where that trend goes. Number 4, creating feathered fantasy is, and again, once I post this blog post up, you can kind of see just really soft, feathery look, and kind of going from there, making that kind of fantasy. I don't know. The best way to describe feathered is, kind of feathered hair and that kind of thing. So, and then number 5, the power of flower all over prints. And so they're saying that for both men and women's garments, they expect to see a lot more flowers and, really bright, bold, all over prints with a lot of flowered backgrounds and things like that. So looking forward to seeing what we see there. I'm going to real quick check in on, make sure Terry is at least having some success coming back here, hopefully shortly. All right. Well, the next point here, we talked to Heat Transfer Warehouse not too terribly long ago on the podcast and had a great conversation with AJ and Kirk over there about kind of what's going on in the vinyl world and what's going on with them and just kind of about heat printing in general. Those guys are a really great company. Got a chance to get to know Kirk and AJ over the years. Even when I was a competitor with them, they're just good people and they have a good business. Brooke had, who's their kind of marketing coordinator, had shared some information with us. And I think we're getting Terry back here shortly, but all right, let's pull him up here while we're getting him back. Terry, hey, welcome back. Well, maybe. We can.
I was just talking away.
Yeah, not anyhow. All right. Well, Terry, give me 1 second. I was just starting to talk about Heat Transfer Warehouse here, and then we'll circle back and have you kind of give us the last of the points from from the Epson announcement there. All right, so Heat Transfer Warehouse shared this information. Here's what Heat Transfer Warehouse has coming up in 2018 that we'd like everybody to keep an eye out for. They will be adding Cricut products to their equipment and accessories offering. For those of you that aren't familiar with Cricut, it's a hobby style cutter, and they have a lot of different products and equipment and stuff like that. There's kind of two players in that hobby vinyl market. You've got Cricut and Silhouette, and so Heat Transfer Warehouse has been involved with Silhouette, and they're also going to add the Cricut line of products, which I think is very exciting for those home decorators out there. They will be adding Caesar's PSV products, and we'll have to get a little more detail from them on exactly what that is, because I actually haven't heard about that yet. So I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about Caesar's PSV product. And then finally, they said that rose gold has continued to be a popular color that customers enjoy, so we'll be continuing to add that color to various lines as it comes available. Metallics also seem to be a hot product right now, so we'll continue to add various colors in those as well. So that's what's going on over at Heat Transfer Warehouse, and I'm guessing you'll be able to see a lot of that there at the ISS show. So stop by and say hello and tell them the two regular guys sent you. But Terry, are you back and think we can get a little more information out of you? I read the last 2 bullet points on the Epson stuff, but what do I not know since I'm not there?
Well, I think it's a lot of times when this is a new product, you have to buy all new inks, all new platens, all new everything. And approach this is they say they've basically fine-tuned the F2000. The fact that if you have an F2000 or 2000s or 3, and you want to move into the F2100, everything you bought, everything you works on back and forth, including the Garment Creator software. That's the printer. It will drive both printers. So. Pretty exciting and a great way to approach this, because you certainly see a lot of folks come out with new products where reinvest in everything. I love the approach of everything is interchangeable.
Yeah, that's great that they're not going to force you to go buy everything new if you've got some stock there and things like that. That's a good deal. So what's as far as the Epson though, Terry, I know you kind of gave us the bullet points there, but what stands out most to you? What are you most excited about with the F2100?
Well, it's certainly faster than prep mode, Darren, where it's a 2-pass, and with direct-to-garment printers, a 2-pass doesn't mean double the ink. What it's going to do is do 1 pass of color on a white shirt if the ink. But that half ink will dry as it's printing, and then so same amount of ink as a single pass, but by doing in 2 passes, the image really pops. That's printing in 28 seconds. That's pretty amazing. And there's like 18 different print modes, but you can print a dark shirt in about a minute and a half. So that stands out, and the fact that it has a highlight white, just like in screen printing, that's a big deal as well.
Cool. Okay. All right, Terry. Well, let's keep moving on here before we lose your internet connection again. Let's see here. So the next point, was doing some searching, not just ISS related here, but just kind of in general. Wanted to try to bring some, thought-provoking stuff to everybody, and ran across a pretty good article in the California Apparel News, and I'll link to this in the show notes. They were talking about juniors T-shirt trends for the spring-summer of 2018, and they highlighted some trends being predicted by Barbara Fields' buying office, and Barbara Fields is a veteran trend forecaster in the garment decoration space, especially out there in on the West Coast. And I just wanted to give you a few highlights from the article, and then like I said, we'll link back to it and you can go check out more details. But spring of 2018 will be a time for bold statements in detail and trims. Juniors T-shirts will be packed with details such as pearls and piercings. Juniors are going to be seen wearing T-shirts with bows and laces at the sides of the shirts, and also watch for ruffles. But she warns, don't expect to see a lot of big graphics. And again, so if you're involved in the juniors market, you may want to look at some of these additional embellishments to kind of highlight, bring a little additional value. And that's what she expects to see out of juniors apparel. So there's another piece, Terry. What else do we got?
Well, Aaron, Charlie Myers over at Nina Paper forwarded this to us, and this is from the New York Stock Exchange. It says that Nina Paper Incorporated has announced the company will change its name to Nina Incorporated. So no more paper. The stock ticker is going to be the same, MP. But John O'Donnell, the chief executive officer, and Charlie sent us this quote: as we've continued to successfully execute our strategy to increase our presence in growth and profitable, especially niche markets, the last name of Paper does not sufficiently reflect the diversity of our company. So anybody that has in your Rolodex, your electronic Rolodex, Aaron.
Let me update that right now.
Nina Paper, Nina Paper is now just going to be called Nina.
Yeah, that's they're certainly a publicly traded company, and so they are driven a lot by that, and but in the background too, Charlie couldn't give us too much more because it's still under wraps, but they're with John at the helm there, they're definitely innovating and back to really pushing the envelope as to what's going on, and the heat transfer paper. Oh, there went Terry. The heat transfer paper is definitely an area where they specialize. So let me get Terry back again. That hotel connection is fantastic there. All right.
Everybody trying to get on the internet before they go over and do show setup today. So show setup.
Yeah, definitely. We'll all right. Well, let's keep going then, so we can. I know you've got a seminar to get to too, so we'll keep plugging along here. Let's see here. All right, so the next one, Terry, Josh Ellsworth with Stalls brought us some information and actually directed us to a blog post over there at stalls.com. So it's blog.stalls.com /heat-printing-2018. Couple highlights from that, and some of these things, Terry, are some of the pieces that we saw last year at SGIA. At SGIA, where we had a preview, and right. They're now kind of coming to fruition here, and we had an opportunity to talk to Ted Stahl about some of these things, which was again harkening back to what you had said about all the awesome guests we have, and Ted ranks right up there. All right, so CAD Cut PS sign vinyl. This is a new, not new. I guess they've done it in the past, but they have not really had sign vinyl, and so now they're going to be having sign vinyl and heat transfer vinyl all together again at Stalls, so you can kind of get everything under one roof. Sign vinyl presents a way to get more sales with your existing equipment, so they're going to be bringing that out, so it'll be exciting to see how that goes for them. The next highlight, and this was something that we got to see up close and in person, Ben Robinson from Hottronics showed us how this works. It's called Fusion IQ. It's for their Fusion heat presses, and it's going to be coming early this year. They're touting it as your silent business partner, real-time insight into application error, technical troubleshooting. So basically links into the press and becomes a cloud version of basically data about the pressing that's going on, and logging, and better visibility into the productivity of your shops, allowing you to kind of make proactive data-driven changes to maintain the health of your business, according to their blog post there. So that should be interesting to see how that shapes up and how people use that in their heat printing business. Next one, this was the thing that really stood out to me, being a a sublimation guy, and how kind of cool this was. I should have grabbed. I've got a sample sitting behind the curtain here, but but I don't have it easily accessible. But Aqua True Dye Block dye migration is an ongoing challenge in the garment decorating industry. Aqua True Dye Block is the solution. Proprietary heat transfer ink formula that makes Aqua True Dye Block. So when you're going onto a dyed or sublimated synthetic garment, it's basically going to allow you to have an actual white vinyl on top of a red shirt that won't turn pink. So
and that was really impressive when we had our private meeting with Ted Stahl. They had a lot of samples there they were sharing with us, and that was that one definitely stood out.
Yeah, no, it was very cool, and he had some wash samples, and he even had it on a garment that specifically said "Do not embellish."
Exactly. He was pretty proud of that. That was something to see.
Yeah, that was really cool. All right, and then again, we'll get you the link to this blog up there, and you want to read more because I just kind of got some highlights out of it. There's lots more good information there. Hotronix heated lower platen. This is kind of cool. This is an upgraded that you can purchase for your current product and your current Hotronix products. I don't think it's all of them, but a good chunk of their Hotronix products you can get this. And basically what it does, most heat presses just have heat on the top. Well, this allows the vinyl adhesive to melt from the inside of the garment, which allows for lower application temperatures on the top platen. So now you can also, along with their dye block, just in general, handle those delicate polyesters and tri-blends without fear of scorching the delicate fabrics or risk of dye migration in sublimated fabrics. And I would take it one step further and say, hey, this also allows you to do some pretty cool things with sublimation too. So, doing a sublimated sock just with one press as opposed to two, and trying to flip things and all that stuff. So, interesting. I want to see how that goes, and we may have to pick up one of those for the Hotronix we have over at Pick the Gift.
Aaron, I know that you only wear sublimated. I had to smile when you when you said that.
Yeah, I need to make some new ones actually. Now that you mention it. All right, Terry. Well, what else have we come across?
Here's something I'm pretty anxious to see out on the show floor, and Alan Howe mentioned it to us in a previous show when we were talking about things we'd like to see in the future. But the Saudi LTS 6080 direct laser CTS exposure unit, and one of the things I'd mentioned wanting to see was a lower cost direct to screen machine, and this is probably in that neighborhood, and it's just like any other exposure unit. It's a face down glass paint. It exposes all emulsions and stencil films, which is interesting, and for anybody who's in screen printing. Easy to use software capable of many rips, utilizes a 1-bit TIFF file format. And it says this is a very high resolution CIS exposure capable of reproducing the most demanding images types from PC and Mac. Interesting. And requires no film positive, and no consumables, low power consumption, and minimal cost. Has a 10,000 plus hour lamp and easy low cost maintenance. So I'll have a little more to say about that once I get over there and take a look at it. But and Alan didn't share a price with us when I said I wanted low cost, so I'll have to share that with everybody as well.
Yeah. Well, when we were talking to Bruce that day, he said it was not $10,000.
Oh, it was Bruce. Yeah, you're right. It was Bruce.
Well, Alan's told us about it too, but good stuff. Well, Terry, so you're officially put on assignment. You need to get over there. You need to check it out, get some more details. And, since we're stepped into the video world here, you should record a quick video of it in action for our listeners.
I have my video camera. I have my my digital microphone or my digital recorder. I'm ready to gather some information for the two regular guys while I'm here.
Awesome. Well, if you want to go ahead and post that video to our Instagram page, it's at Two Regular Guys, and you can check out all the great information that Terry's going to be bringing us. He's on location for the Two Regular Guys there. He's holding up the bargain for us, and while I am at home doing nothing. All right, Terry. Well, the last kind of thing that I ran across, again, not all ISS related, not all equipment and supplies related here. I wanted to bring some other information too about just some trends and some things to talk about. So ran across another blog post that I thought was kind of interesting and made me think, and print some blog about graphic design trends. And again, I'll get a link to that. But the one that really stood out to me is typography right in front as the, so you have an image, but you have big font and typography kind of covering things. And so their description was this: thanks to the saturation of information online, designers have been forced to find new ways to call people's attentions. And the easiest way is just to make the typography the forefront of the design. So in 2018, fonts will only get bigger, brighter, and bolder. Some of the most popular types will be handwritten, geometric, and 3D, not to mention that there's a tendency to make them responsive, and Google fonts will only become more popular as Skynet continues to take over. So I just, again, wanted to kind of give people some food for thought too, while they're taking in all this new equipment and stuff, and see how these things come together. And I think we've covered most of it though, Terry. Anything else that we've missed here?
I don't think so, and hopefully, I'm going to imagine that a few other things that people didn't quite want to share yet, in fear that we might mention it beforehand, before the show actually opened. And show does open, in fact, in 20 minutes. Up on a few more things to share with people next week. But Aaron, in the meantime, how about a word from our sponsor, Equipment Zone, a sponsor that's been with us since the very first podcast.
Our show today is sponsored by Equipment Zone. Go to equipmentzone.com for the Epson F2000 direct-to-garment printer. Equipment Zone is the only Epson reseller who sends a technician to every customer location for training. This is an absolutely free visit to your location. Equipment Zone is also the manufacturer of the #1 pre-treat machine in the industry, the Speed Treater TX. With no compressor and no special tanks, the Speed Treater TX is the easiest and most consistent pre-treat machine available worldwide. Go to equipmentzone.com for the Epson F2000, the Speed Treater TX, and for all your DTG inks and supplies. That's equipmentzone.com. That's equipmentzone.com.
All right. Well, thanks very much to Equipment Zone for their continued support. And what booth are you guys in out there, Terry? Do you know the number?
Yeah, 2349, and you can't miss us. We're in the back right, but we have two very large rear projection screens, and they are showing live video of one of our techs running the new Epson F2100. Doing regular full production, just printing all day long, and using a conveyor dryer from our friends over at Vastex. So people to go over there and see what it looks like for someone to actually be doing a production run during the show. And hey, we're going to have plenty of T-shirts to give away, by the way. So.
Yeah, you're going to have to get me a T-shirt, I guess. Not that I don't already have plenty, but maybe exactly. We can donate some to bring them back to the Midwest here, where it's nice and cold, and get some people some garments.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So speaking of ISS, Terry, anything else going on out there?
Yeah, in about an hour and a half, I'll be doing a seminar on direct-to-garment printing in 2018, and basically it's an overview. Most of the people that come to that seminar have never been to a trade show before. And Aaron, by the way, I asked for a show of hands in the all-day Epson seminar. Who is at their first trade show ever? And about half the crowd raised hands.
Wow!
So
that's still
again, as we often talk about, more people, more Petrie. So it's pretty exciting. And and my intro to and thank ISS for allowing me to do this at the front end of the show. And gosh, Aaron, usually 75, 80% of that on, and honored that they're starting off their journeying with me in the Direct to Garment seminar.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds great. All right, Terry. Well, I don't know if we talked about it too much, but I actually just got back from PPAI out in Las Vegas, and even though what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, I can talk about the PPAI show. It was not that exciting as far as the extracurricular activities, but yeah, it's been several years since I've been, and so just had an opportunity to kind of slip out there real quick. And plus, as Hawkeye said, here in the Midwest, it was 2 degrees with the real feel of like -16. In fact, on the Tuesday that I left, they closed my son's school. They actually, the school district closed all the schools because of inclement weather. And that inclement weather was it was so darn cold. So there was no snow or ice or anything. It was too darn cold. So that was nice to slip out there, check that out. Just a huge, they have the event at the Mandalay Bay, and they basically take up the entire convention hall there at Mandalay Bay, out in the lobby area too. And so it's massive. You had everything from like Weber Grill there and their brands, the postal service, to then all of the promotional products type suppliers. And you could find just about anything you ever wanted there, from promotional product type brownies to plastics to higher end stuff, Bose headphones, all sorts of stuff. So really interesting event. The promotional products world is alive and well, and looks from all of the private parties that were happening on Tuesday night, it also looks to be thriving. There was definitely some money being spent out there in Las Vegas. So it was a good event. So definitely worth checking that out in the future, and the ASI shows. Both those programs are really good. And if you're in anywhere near the promotional products area, and if you're a garment decorator, you should be near that, because that's actually one of their largest segments in promotional products is garments. So there's business to be had over there in that promotional products world. Okay, I think Terry, you still there?
And the folks that do this.
All right, you're cutting out a little bit there, Terry. So
I was saying the promotional product.
All right, Terry. Well, we're losing you again here. That hotel internet is still cutting in and out on you a little bit. So let me just quickly bring a couple of details to people. Want to remind everybody, DAX Kansas City is coming up really soon. So if you're not already signed up for that, make sure you get over to daxshow.com and get signed up. And I've got a digital marketing, growing your business with social media and email marketing seminar at 12:30 on Friday, February 23rd. And then Terry and I will be doing a finding niche markets because you're a digital decorator. We'll be doing that together on Friday the 23rd at 2:20 p.m. So I will be all talked out by the end of that, but then we'll go to the party. Terry, I think we'll see if we can get you here. Otherwise, I'll share the details. But what do you have coming up here?
Okay, I have my business course. 3 locations coming up: January 27th, 28th, next weekend at Workhorse Products in Phoenix. February 10th and 11th with Atlas Green Supply in Chicago. 4th with Atlas Green Supply in their new location in Nashville. Aaron, my DAX seminar in Kansas City is going to be equipment and supplies for the new screen printer, what you need for success. And of course, you can find all my events at terrycombs.com under tour dates. And Aaron, for 5 things.
Terry, you're definitely cutting out again here. So let me go ahead and bring the 5 things if that's all right with you there.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So again, as we mentioned at the top of the show, the 5 things this week are brought to you by Janine Edwards of Fruit of the Loom, and this is from her article in the SGI Journal. But we're going to talk 5 trends in apparel printing that will transform your business. And again, just going to bring you the highlights, and you guys start the conversation, and we'll go from there. So number 1, fast turnaround. And in the article, she references Amazon, and so you can figure it out from there what fast turnaround's all about. Number 2, everyone is a designer. So even I can design something. So you have to be able to account for that. Number 3, building strong relationships with your competitors, with the competition. We've talked about that throughout the course of this show, that that's a changing trend and a welcome one, where all ships rise with the rising tide. So number 4, performance materials and customization. So Under Armour type garments that are customized, those kinds of things. And number 5 is social media. If you're not involved, you're being what was it that Mark said? If you're not adapting, you're being left behind. And being on social media is one of those things. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. So make sure to check out the full article in the spring 2017 SGI Journal called 6 Trends in Apparel Printing That Will Transform Your Business. That way you can also read about the 6th item that she brought there, and read her very insightful take, backed with lots of great quotes from different folks that are involved in those areas. Thanks very much for sharing those with us and helping us with 5 things. We are always looking for more 5 things from people like you that are out there, and we want to bring that information to you. So if you have a 5 things you want to get a conversation started, and have us read your information and share what you've got going on, and share about you, 5 things, just email us info@2regularguys with your idea for 5 things. All right, Terry, well, let's see if we can get you out of here over to the seminar and let everybody go back to their normal hotel activities on the internet.
Sounds like a plan. I will be in regular Wi-Fi next week, so hopefully no technical difficulties in there, and I will see you and everybody else next week.
Awesome. All right, everybody, have a great week, and we will catch up with you guys next week. I had to hold on one second here. We'll get it closed out.
We need that technician, the roadie.
I know. I was too busy with other things here. All right, here we go. We're ready to close out.
Thank you for listening to 2 Regular Guys. Check out our website at 2regularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/2regularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/2regularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, 2regularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.